Hey there, thank you for joining me for another episode of Total Ramblings. This is an episode that I was meant to do about a week ago when this thing arrived. Unfortunately, I have been in hospital and I only got out yesterday, and I have been very much looking forward to opening this because it goes with something that we opened about a month ago, a previous video. And this is the accompanying piece, shall we say. There are others, but I don't know if I'm going to get those or not. I kind of like stuff that's in the same scale with each other, you know? Anyway, look, if you've already seen the thumbnail, you'll know exactly what this is. So here we go. Casey Model Kits again are my supplier of choice on eBay. The last one of these I got from them as well. And there we go. This is the Corgi Star Trek USS Enterprise NCC 1701 refit version. So I'm just going to get the box out of the box. Where would we be without boxes within boxes? There we go. And there's the front. There's the side with a little sort of side kind of ortho of the ship. Just has Corgi on the ends. Nothing on that side. And here's some blurb on the back in case you were interested. So, we're going to open this one up now. I'm sorry if I sound a bit tired. It's 7 o'clock on the morning of Thursday the 9th of October. And I needed to get up and make a complaint to somebody. Because as usual, my life is falling apart and things won't leave me alone. There we go. United Federation of Planets, Starfleet Command. We're going to open the box. Now, inside the box, following her 5-year mission of exploration under the command of Captain James T. Kirk, the USS Enterprise NCC 1701 returned to Earth. Kirk was promoted to Admiral and handed command to Captain William Decker, who oversaw dramatic modernization refit. Essentially a complete rebuild over the skeleton of the ship, the vessel that emerged after 18 months of work was larger, sleeker and more powerful. And Starfleet retroactively deemed the refit an entirely new class of ship, the Constitution II class. Weeks away from the refit being completed, the USS Enterprise was launched early to respond to the V'ger crisis, again under Kirk's command, with Decker demoted to first officer. The events that followed saw the reunion of Kirk's previous command crew, but at the loss of Decker. By 2285, 40 years after she was first launched, Enterprise had been relegated to use as a training vessel, now commanded, what's wrong with me saying this word today? Now commanded by Captain Spock. The ship left on a training cruise with Kirk aboard to observe, but was soon attacked by Khan, Noonien and Singh. Subsequent events saw the death of Spock and the formation of a new planet when Khan detonated the stolen Genesis device inside a nebula. Kirk and his senior staff later stole the Enterprise to return to the Genesis planet and recover a resurrected Spock, where the ship was attacked by a Klingon bird of prey. Out of options, Kirk lured the Klingons aboard Enterprise and set the auto-destruct sequence. The most legendary of Federation starships ended her career burning through Genesis atmosphere, though her crew successfully rescued Spock and stole the Klingon bird of prey to return him to Vulcan. Constitution class, to boldly go where no one has gone before. Service history, launch 2245. San Francisco Fleet Yards, refit 2271. So she was refitted 26 years into her career. captained by Captain William Decker, Admiral James T. Kirk, Captain Spock. And there she is, with all of this absolute Aztecing painted glory on here. Just pop off this plastic off the top. There she is, ladles and jelly spoons. Still the Enterprise, no bloody A, B, C or D, but a sleeker Enterprise. More powerful. So, we just put that to one side. That's our stand for standing things. That's the other part of the stand, the support for holding it up. And the bottom of the box is empty, as you might expect. Nice little ribbon there, holding that open. I'm going to pop this back in here. There we go. And we're going to we're going to put the box to one side. We're going to have a look at our new ship. So the stand clicks in like that. And here is our Enterprise. Now look at the detailing, the paint, the Aztecing as they call it on here. Pinstriping around the name. Bridge module with there's a docking bay up here. Slightly disappointed that there's no windows painted on here. This is an officer's lounge and there's nothing here. There should be some very prominent windows there, but never mind. These sort of hatches, the impulse crystal. The lettering slightly goes over this line here, so you've got a little bit of a break, but never mind. Something I've only relatively recently noticed on the Enterprise refit is this weird sort of colour scheme above, just by the nacelle struts and above main engineering. It's kind of weird. I've never really noticed that before until very recently. Bit of Aztecing on the top of the engines. Tiny little writing on the engines. Shuttle bay at the back there. That's where the stand goes. Got a trademark logo hidden in there. Planetary sensor array. That's also a shame. The photon torpedo launchers, they don't have, you can't see the actual doors to the torpedo exit. They should be red, or they should at least be some kind of outline there to show that they open up, because that's where the torpedoes are launched. So it's a shame you can't see the tubes. There is incredibly tiny writing here. It's a nice weight to it. And of course it sits on the stand like so. A little bit front heavy. I'm not really quite sure. Yeah, it's fine. Now, in the last accompanying episode of this, we opened the original Enterprise. Now, in universe, of course, these are the same ship. This one is a refit of this one, so you would never actually see these two together. because one was replaced by the other. It's the same vessel. I love having models that are to scale. Now, when the refit was done, the saucer was increased in diameter ever so slightly, and yes, that does appear to be the case. The secondary hull was significantly enlarged and changed in shape, and essentially became a cargo handling area. It's wider. I don't know if that's obvious there, but the secondary hull on the Refit is wider. It's slightly more bulbous. This is an example of false memories, but when the Enterprise A was launched, so the Enterprise A was essentially this ship again, just a different version of her. When she was launched, I distinctly remember seeing rear torpedo launchers on her, which, you know, kind of made sense to me. And also I thought, you know, it made sense that the next Enterprise would be upgunned. But they never had them. They never had rear torpedo launchers. And I don't know where that information's come from in my mind. I still think it's a wasted opportunity that they couldn't have differentiated slightly between the Refit and the A. There's some debate as to whether the A was a new build on the same design or was a refit of something called I think the USS Yorktown. But anyway, I'm talking about the A, and this isn't the A. This is the original Enterprise, and there she is in both her forms, pre-refit and post-refit. There you go. So, thank you very much for watching this episode of Total Ramblings. I hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry, there's a bit of an optical illusion there. I thought the stands were different sizes, but they're not. Why would they be? Of course you'd use the same mould. They just looked. It's weird. It's like that optical illusion effect where you've got two shapes the same shape and size, and you put them together and they look different sizes. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just going insane. Going insane. I've been insane for a long time. Anyway, yeah, there we go. Finally got to open it now that I'm finally back home. It's very nice. This was about £65 on eBay. I got a discount, eBay discount of I think 10%, maybe 20%. Can't remember now. There was a special code. So I definitely made use of that. Now, Corgi do two other models. They do the Klingon Bird of Prey, aka HMS Bounty, which I think is meant to be the same scale as these, and I might get that one, but there's no urgency. And then they do the NCC 1701D, which is not to the same scale, because it would be, you know, at least these two together, probably another one again, because the Enterprise D is insanely huge. Not to the same scale, although the model looks very nice. So what I'd really like is a line of models like this, die-cast, pre-painted, where I don't have to mess around or install things or make things or build things, that are all to the same scale. So, you know, I would include the NX-01, I would include the 1701A, the B, the C, the D, the E, the F. I think we're at G now. You know, it would be beautiful to see an entire range of those ships to this quality and this paint work all at the same scale. But those models would be huge and very expensive, and I don't think we're going to get that. So, yeah. Thanks for watching.